Introduction. The Datalink system used by the JF-17 is designated Link 17 by Pakistan's Air Force. It is an indigenous tactical datalink solution that started its development on 2010 or 2011, and entered operational use with the JF-17 on 2015. Presumably, Link 17 is also used by Pakistan's Mirage Rose and the F-7PG. A tactical datalink is a network that enables secure voice and data exchanges between connected assets. The information is transmitted by an encrypted and jamming-resistant digital radio. Press spacebar to continue. Simulated Datalink. As implemented by DECA, the JF-17 Datalink is designed as a fighter-to-fighter datalink, where the nodes are only JF-17 aircrafts. One of these JF-17 has to act as a network master, which gathers the data from all the other information donors, and then retransmits the combined information to all other clients, also called slaves, on the same network. On single-player mode, the JF-17 of the player has to be the master, and all the remaining AI-controlled JF-17 operate as slaves if they are on the same coalition as the master. On multiplayer mode, it is possible to have more than one master, so that red JF-17 can coexist with blue ones without clashing. Press spacebar to continue. DCS Tactical Datalink. Natively, DCS provides a tactical datalink for receiving battlefield information gathered by AWACS aircrafts. DECA has integrated the information of this DCS datalink network with the information from their own Link 17 system. However, this only works with NATO AWACS aircrafts, like the E-2D and E-3A. It is not possible for the JF-17 to receive tactical data from non-NATO AWACS aircrafts, like the Russian A-50 or the Chinese KJ-2000, even if they are on the same coalition, as they use different datalink protocol. Setup cockpit. The JF-17 autopilot is active, so that you can take a moment to set up the cockpit. We have also placed DCS on active pause, while we explain the datalink details. Press spacebar to activating the datalink. 1. Confirm that the COM2 radio is powered, as it is used to communicate with the datalink network. Its power button is on the AAP panel, on the right console. 2. On the UFCP, tune COM2 to the channel 199. This channel is reserved exclusively for datalink transmission, and must remain at this channel for as long as you need the datalink operative. Press RTN to go to the UFCP main menu. Press the arrow next to COM2 twice, to enter edit mode. Input the digits 199. Press the arrow one last time, to finish entering the channel. Good. COM2 is now tuned to channel 199. 3. While the UFCP is still on the communication menu, change the mode to master instead of slave. Unless you are on a multiplayer game, and another fellow pilot is going to be master. 4. To actually connect to the datalink network, click the arrow next to NE-. It will change to NE+ while attempting the connection and, once successful, it will change to NES indicating network successfully connected. Good, you have successfully connected to the datalink network as a master node. On multiplayer, you can now tell your fellow pilots that they can now connect their JF-17 to the datalink network as slave nodes. Press spacebar to continue. Before we start, please adjust the HSI range scale to 60 nautical miles, in order to see contacts that are farther away. Next, please click T1 up on the HOTAS, to select Master Mode Air-to-Air. This will display on the HSI the range envelope of our AA missiles, and replace the navigation list of the bottom half of the MFCD, with the datalink threat list. The datalink display. The information received via datalink is displayed on the HSI display, and it consists of surface and air contacts that other aircrafts on the network have detected. We can distinguish these datalink contacts from those detected by our own RWR system, by their color. Yellow, contacts detected by the RWR. Except contacts that have locked us on their radar, which are red. Green, datalink contacts classified as friendly. Red, datalink contacts classified as hostile, and RWR contacts that have locked us on their radar. Press spacebar to continue. Datalink contact symbology. The highlighted symbol represents a datalink contact. The green color and circle shape tells us that it is friendly aircraft. On the briefing there is a diagram with the Datalink symbols. The small curved line on its outside base indicates that this is a Datalink contact, as opposed to one of our own radar contacts. The number on its inside is an identification number assigned by the Datalink. The small number outside the circle corresponds to its altitude, in thousands of feet. The short line on its outside corresponds to its current heading. The yellow contact comes from our RWR, and as it is alongside the same bearing as the green contact from the Datalink, we can presume that both contacts corresponds to the same aircraft. Its radar signature is classified by the RWR as an E3 AWACS from our coalition. On the briefing there is a table with the type codes used by the RWR. This process, of pairing information from the RWR, in yellow, with information from the Datalink, in green and red, allows us a better identification of the various contacts, even if sometimes it can get the display a bit cluttered. This is another Datalink contact. This time the red color tells us that it is hostile, the triangle shape indicates that it is an air contact. The small line on its outside base indicates that this is a Datalink contact, as opposed to one of our own radar contacts. Its identification number is 05, assigned by the Datalink. The small number outside the symbol tells us that its altitude is 30,000 feet. The yellow contact comes from our RWR, and as it is alongside the same bearing as the red contact from the Datalink, we can presume that both contacts corresponds to the same aircraft. Its radar signature is classified by the RWR as a hostile A50 AWACS. Press spacebar to continue. This is a hostile surface contact gathered from the Datalink. The red color tells us that it is hostile, the house shape indicates that it is a surface contact. The small line on its outside base indicates that this is a Datalink contact. Its identification number is 17, assigned by the Datalink. The small number outside the symbol tells us that its MSL altitude is 2,000 feet, so we can assume it is on a hilltop. Press spacebar to continue. The yellow contact comes from our RWR, and same as before, it is alongside the same bearing as the red contact from the Datalink, so we can presume that both contacts corresponds to the same surface contact. Its radar signature gets classified by the RWR as a SAM-SA11, and the Datalink adds that it is hostile. Press spacebar to continue. We have now activated a hostile transport ahead of us, to check how is the Datalink symbology used for contacts detected by our own radar. Wait a bit for it to appear on the HSI and radar. The new contact is now on the HSI display, we have highlighted it. This contact was contributed to the Datalink network by our own radar. We can tell because it doesn't have the additional line on its base, like the previous contacts that we have examined previously. The contact is painted yellow, unknown contact, because we have not activated our IFF system. Let's activate the IFF to see how it would work on that case. Click on the IFF button of the UFCP. On the UFCP, the IFF menu for the interrogator is shown. As we are on single player, we will select IFF mode 1. Click on the highlighted arrow. Good. The IFF is now active. For single player it is not necessary to set a transponder mode, nor use encryption. For DCS multiplayer considerations, please check our IFF training mission. Now that we have IFF active, let's go back to our unknown contact on the radar display. To IFF interrogate this contact, press and hold the T4 press button on the HOTAS, until the contact turns either green or red. Press spacebar once the radar contact changes color, but don't release the IFF button yet. Note that, even though the radar has the contact painted red, on the HSI the Datalink still displays it yellow. This is because as we are no longer IFF interrogating our radar contacts, they have reverted to yellow color, and a few seconds later the corresponding Datalink contact will change to yellow too. Press spacebar to continue. We are activating a few. This is a couple of hostile aircrafts. We can see that they don't show up amongst the yellow RWR contacts, so either they have their radar turned off, or they are an aircraft type with no radar, like a transport or bomber. Their identification numbers are 12 and 13, assigned by the datalink. Press spacebar to continue. Next, we are activating another contact. Wait a bit for it to appear. This is a friendly aircraft. Its yellow RWR contact identifies it as a fellow JF-17. Its identification number is 15, assigned by the datalink. Press spacebar to continue. We will now describe the datalink elements on the HSI display. EVP, show or hide the radar and weapons envelope pie slices. Note that the envelopes are dynamic. If you move the TDC right or left, with the T5 switch on the HOTAS, the radar envelope will move to match. Press spacebar to continue. ALT, shows or hide the small altitude number that is next to each contact, for a small measure of declutter. Press spacebar to continue. TRK, shows or hides the waypoint navigation track line of our aircraft. Press spacebar to continue. REJ, reject. This is a declutter function. When enabled, boxed, it hides our flight path, the compass circle and the HSI reference lines. Press spacebar to continue. FRD, friendly. This is a filter function. When disabled, unboxed, friendly datalink contacts are hidden. Press spacebar to continue. AEW, airborne early warning. This is another filter function. When disabled, unboxed, AWACS datalink contacts are hidden. At the moment, this function is not working. Press spacebar to continue. UNK, unknown. Filter function. When disabled, unboxed, unknown datalink contacts are not shown on the display. Press spacebar to continue. Open or priority. This function limits the quantity of RWR contacts shown on the display. PRTY only shows high threat contacts, while open shows all contacts. At the moment, this function is not working. Press GND, ground. It's a filter function. When disabled, unboxed, surface datalink contacts are hidden. Press spacebar to continue. The lower portion of the MFCD is used to show a list of the datalink contacts track files, sorted by threat priority. For each contact it shows ID, the track file identification number, TA, target aspect angle, RNG, range in nautical miles, DEV, closing speed in knots, DEH, altitude difference respect our aircraft, in thousands of feet. Negative values indicate aircrafts below us. Press spacebar to continue. This button will take you to the Control Datalink page. Click on it now to check it out. This is the identification number of your aircraft on the Datalink network. Press spacebar to continue. This is the master-slave node type that you have on the Datalink network. This is your current connection status on the Datalink network. This is the channel of your Datalink network. You will need to change this value only on multiplayer missions, where there are JF-17 aircrafts on both coalitions. This will show a list with all the nodes of your Datalink network. For each aircraft, it displays TN, team number, Datalink ID assigned to the node, an asterisk indicates which is the master, all others are slaves. FLT, flight number. Role, can be lead or wingman. Fuel, current fuel quantity. Press spacebar to continue. Click on HSI to exit the C-Link page. This concludes our training on the Datalink functions. Press escape to exit the mission, and we hope you have learned something new.